Sponsor today's video is MOVA, and today we're trying out their Lidax Ultra 3000 AWD. This thing packs a lot of punch and has a lot of really cool features that made us really interested in it whenever they reached out to us to try it out. The first thing, this thing offers centimeter level precision auto mapping on lawns up to 3/4 of an acre. You may be asking, how does it do that? No, it doesn't require wires, an RTK, or even GPS. It uses 360-degree 3D LiDAR and also AI stereo vision to be able to complete that mapping. Now, if you have a lawn that has some weird edges or something like that, they also have other options in the app to manually map as well. Another cool thing about this is it cuts as close as 1.2 inches to walls and edges, raised bed, things like that. So you don't have to worry about going around weed eating a bunch of junk after that, because this thing is going to get really close to all those boundary areas that you normally have to fight with to try to get done. And with its all-wheel drive capabilities, it can climb slopes up to 80%. That's a pretty steep slope, and it also can avoid obstacles 2.4 inches in height. So if you have some stumps or roots or something like that that's less than 2.4, it can navigate around or over those. And it also has dual cutting disc with 6 blades each that can adjust from a height of 1.2 inches all the way up to 3.9 inches. So whether you want a short lawn or a taller lawn, it can adjust to suit your needs. So now that we've covered all those cool things about this, let's get it out of the box and see what all's in there and see how hard this is going to be or how easy it is to set up. So when you order one of these and it comes in, you may be just thinking, man, am I going to be overwhelmed with all the stuff I'm going to do to put this thing together? Well, no, you're not, because look how simple this is. It comes with the charging tower, the base plate. These just click together, which we'll demonstrate a little bit later. It has a cleaning brush that also attaches to the tower. It comes with your stakes to hold down your base plate, the cleaning brush, also the extra blades and screws so you can replace those, the power supply, and the robot itself, as well as a quick start guide which is going to walk you through everything, and the owner's manual. So look at this lawnmower. I mean, does this not look like a beast? This thing looks big, bad, like it could tackle any job you have, and we're going to put it through some tests a little bit later to show you what all this thing can handle. But let's go get this set up, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about the lawnmower itself. Okay, so the main thing you want to do when you're picking the area for your charging station is, the first thing, you got to have power. If you don't have power, you have no way to charge it. So make sure that wherever you set it up, you have a way to get power to it or not. It comes with a pretty long cord, but if you're not that close to an outlet, you'll have to figure out something else. But the next thing is you want about 1 meter of clearance all the way around it, just for the simple fact of making sure that your robot can get to it and get everything and not have any issues. And then you also want it to be level. So we've got a pretty good area here. We're going to show you how this goes together. Like I said, this charging tower just clicks onto the base plate just like that, super simple. And then we're going to go through and put our stakes down on the base plate to hold it down, and then we'll install our brush, get it plugged up, and show you how it is. So we're just going to go through and put our base plate pegs in, stakes, and then you can push them in part of the way, and then they actually send a tool, which I'm super thrilled about that, so that you can screw them in the rest of the way. Because I love it when a place sends everything you need for the install and you don't have to have a bunch of tools. Like I said, being on a farm, we have a lot of those, but some people may not, especially if you're living in town or something using one of these. And so the fact that they include all that is excellent. And the main thing, you want this secure so it doesn't try to shift or something as the mower's going back to it to charge. Okay, now that we have that secure, like I said, it comes with a brush which cleans off the lens for the LiDAR as it goes into charge. That just slides in right up here. And now we have the power supply that's going to attach to the charging tower. It's pretty simple. It actually has a notch so that you can't line it up wrong. Put it in, screw it down real tight, and then we're going to stretch it out to our power and see if this thing kicks on. Okay, so we got power to it. The light turned on blue here, so this thing is set up and ready to go. Now let's go show you the mower, and then we're going to get it set up and show you exactly how it works. So, as the name suggests, AWD, it's all-wheel drive, which means it has 4 independent hub motors. It's got independent suspension, so if you've got some uneven terrain, it's going to be able to navigate that really well. It also has a 36-volt battery, which means you're going to get a lot of mowing out of a single charge, and it's going to go a lot farther, and it won't take near as long to get done because it won't have to go back and recharge as much. On the back right here, it's got the rain sensor, so if it starts raining, you can have a setting in there to make it stop mowing. And then the Ultra View is on the front, which is the AI detection, which is going to be like the obstacle avoidance and stuff like that, which we will demonstrate that a little bit later. But now we're going to get this thing set up. It's pretty neat. You open up the top. It's got the power button you're going to hold for a couple of seconds. The display is going to come on. It says MOVA, And then we're going to set the language and a few other little settings. And then we're going to get the app installed and put this thing to work. So after you set the language, you have to set a PIN number. And now we have to install the app on our phone to create our first map. What's really neat is it has a QR code right here on the inside of the cover that you scan. It'll take you to the app store and you can download the app. Okay, so now that we got it on the charging station, we're fixing to hit start mapping. It's gonna come off of there, and then we're gonna do a manual map because we've kind of got a layout here that's gonna be kind of wonky. That way we can show you what all it can actually do. It's calibrating right now. Once it does that, we'll start drawing out one zone here. Then we're going to make a channel, and then we're going to do another zone. That way you can see how to do multiple zones and a channel to connect the two and explain exactly what a channel is. Okay, so now that we've got it set up where we want, we're going to hit a starting point. And then to do a manual map, we're just going to drive this around the way we want it to go. And I'm going kind of slow because we're fixing to be making some weird turns right here because I want to keep it out of the really big stuff because we've got some plants and trees still in there some, but we're just going to kind of do an outline, go all the way around, and then show you what the map looks like afterwards. Okay, so we did a boundary. Once you get to the starting point, it's like you've made it to the starting point. Do you want to close the boundary? So yes, we did. You can see on our map here how crazy that outline is. So we've got that. So now we're fixing to go set another zone up, and in order to do that, we're going to have to create a path to get to that. So it's going to generate the map, and then we're going to have to go set up the other one, then we'll connect the two. Okay, so now we're just setting up our second zone, which is going to run right along the driveway and get this part of the fence that's right here by the, or this grass right here by the goat fence. The main thing we wanted to show you with this one is we've got two different slopes going on. We've got the uphill slope of the actual hill, and then we also have a grade that's on the side of the driveway to show you how the independent suspension and the all-wheel drive really works to combat both of these obstacles or difficulties that some mowers may have. Okay, so now that we have two different zones made, you can see on my phone where they're not connected. So what we do is we hit set path, and we're going to connect the two so that the mower will not actually mow between these, but it can get between the two. We have to get back inside our mowing zone.
The starting point has been set.
We've got a starting point, and then we're just going to drive right along to our other. And then they should be connected where it won't mow in this area, but it can still travel between the two, which is really handy if you have like a driveway or something in between that you don't really want to be mowed, but you want it to be able to get to other zones. This is a handy feature to have. Okay, so then we hit set endpoint. Now they're done. So we're going to hit done. We're going to hit finish map. It's going to do its thing. Okay, so now we're fixing to set it up to start mowing so we can demonstrate that. So we go to use the zone. We're going to have it use these two zones. I'm going to set the settings. We're just going to do standard because we want to mow the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to change it to 5 centimeter height, which is about 2 inches. And then the mowing direction, it allows us to do like either a checkerboard or crisscross. I think we're going to do checkerboard because I always like the way that looks. We're going to select to do automatic edge mowing, which means after it does all the other mowing, it's going to get the edges. We're going to do a safe edge mowing, so it leaves a little bit of a buffer zone. We don't have to worry about it end up hitting like the gravel in the driveway or something like that. We're also going to activate the Ultra Trim 2.0, which means it's going to shift the displays over on the edge mowing and only leave 1.2 centimeters of grass on the outside. So it means it's going to be a super close mow, which is going to be great. We're going to do the obstacle recognition, which means that anything that is over 20 centimeters, it's going to avoid that. So we've got some tall grass and bumpy areas, so that's the recommended for that. And also we've got the AI recognition turned on where it's going to recognize all objects and everything, and then the 20 centimeters for obstacle avoidance. So we're going to save all those settings. Let's give some tips to make sure you don't have pets, children, anything like that that's going to be in the way, and then you hit start, and now it's fixing to get started. Not only is this thing super quiet at less than 66 decibels, I mean, listen to that. Super quiet working. Plus, it's eco-friendly, so you're not putting out carbon emissions and stuff into the atmosphere. So, super great about that. But another great feature it has is customizable, where you can actually set a do not disturb, and you can set a time or a time range that you don't want it to activate, and it will not activate during that time, so it also works for that. And then one thing, we showed you the zones and the channels, but there's also no-go zones. So if you had like an area in the middle of something that you wanted to mow a big area but not mow a specific area, you can actually set a no-go zone and it will not mow that area. So they boast about their AI technology for obstacle avoidance. Feed buckets are something we have around here, and occasionally the wind will catch them or blizzard will leave one out. So we're going to see if it can recognize the bucket and what it does to avoid it. Okay, it's going up there to it. It sees something's out of whack. It stops. It's going to go around it. So I would say that their AI technology is working really well on obstacle avoidance, and look, it just goes around it and takes care of it, so you don't have to worry about your stuff that's out in the yard damaging your mower or getting tore up. Another thing you also saw us create 2 different zones. Well, you can actually do 150 different zones and either have the zones touching or connecting with channels, things like that. So it's got a lot of versatility on how big of an area and stuff you can cover with this thing. And like I said, it does up to 3/4 of an acre, which is a lot of ground to cover. Okay, so as you can see, you can do real-time tracking in the map. You can see where it's going. The dark green's where it's already mowed. The light green is what it still has left, which that's really cool. If you're not there to watch it, you can actually keep an eye and make sure it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. And you can see the progress that it's making as well. The other great thing about it is they have dual map management, which they have 2 different maps, which means you can set up a personalized schedule for each map. So if you want one map to mow on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and the other one's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or something like that, you can personalize it for the different maps to do the schedule so that it mows the areas you want when you want it to mow there. Another great feature that they've included on this is anti-theft protection, and so it actually has an alarm that goes off if it's lifted off the ground, and it has real-time tracking so that if it leaves the mapped area, it sets off an alarm too.
Robot is lifted. Please check.
But see, it lets you know that the robot's been lifted, and so if somebody tries to steal it, it's got that, plus it has real-time tracking, plus you can also put an air tag on it. It's got a spot for that, which is really great. They've thought of everything with this mower so it would be suitable for everybody. So we've put this thing through the ringer. We showed you a lot of its features and just exactly what all this machine can do. So we are super thankful for MOVA sending us their Lidax Ultra 3000 AWD mower, because it is super handy and we are going to love having it on the farm, especially with what all it can do. So if you want to check one out, they've got several models available for different size yards. Check out the link in the description below. Go to their website, find out which one will suit all your needs, and be sure to order yours today.